Hey, everybody, welcome back to the AI Visibility Brief. My name is Kevin Vaughan with KTV Digital, and I am joined today by my good friend, Tom McGuire, who we famously solve the world's problems and geek out over technology and all of this stuff. So he is like the perfect guy to bring on to have this chat today. So, first off, Tom, co-founder of Visual Moxie and purveyor of other things. We can certainly, discuss that. But, one of the things that we want to really dive in today, because Tom, I know you're going to have an opinion on this.
Okay.
Is, search just in general, where it's at today, Google versus AI, how influential AI is to Google. It's obviously not an either or conversation. It's kind of both, but there's a lot that we can pick from for, starting points, jumping off points, but I'll let you have creative license on this and, start where you like, and then we'll just pick it up from there.
All right. Well, I'm starting off by taking notes because I'm having, questions and dialogue in my head suddenly appear.
All right.
And, you said something right in the beginning there. You said how important AI search is. It's really one of those things where it is so important that Google has added, like we discussed earlier, I think yesterday, Google has added an opportunity to use artificial intelligence or AI tools to be able to create custom filters for the search results. So this means that it is at the core of even their own systems, that they're building it into their tools for ways to visualize their content that they collect. So it's not just them using it for themselves; they're also making it available for people like you and me and anyone else using Search Console to fine tune those filters and see what's really happening underneath. Super important.
Well, okay, so and we kind of peeled that back a little bit in Search Console, but
Yeah.
that may be a little more technical than where we
Yeah.
want to go today. I mean, so really, it's just for the business, for the small business owners, small business operator, marketing team with a small to medium sized company, right? That's traditionally been oriented for traditional SEO. So, thinking in terms of keywords, right? So this is the old thing. It's like, we got to optimize for this keyword because we want to be the top of this result. But what I'm seeing today is that it's not the keyword thing hasn't gone away. So this is the dichotomy of this, where the foundation is still there, but now we have to optimize for prompts. We have to optimize for the questions that people are going to ask, because the process has changed, where especially in a complicated or sophisticated business to business type search, those users will go to AI first to have a conversation. But
Yeah.
you've been playing the website game for a long time. So are you seeing the same thing? What is your take on that?
Yeah. So I think what's really important, what I've observed, is that everything we've been doing is now the minimum that you're supposed to be doing. You can't stop doing it. And the language models have just shortened the time it takes to process what you've had to do in the past. It's been a force multiplier in being able to still produce what you need to do with your SEO, with your your long tails, all of that stuff. But now AI search and use of AI has allowed us to now add a stack on top of the foundation of things that have to still be there. So anybody who's using AI search is still going to have to execute a full SEO plan, because without that, the language models can't find what they're even supposed to look for when they're trying to return a result to you.
Right. Yeah. So they play together so that, because if you see my LinkedIn feed, right, everybody's an AI expert, and there's different opinions out there, and to the extremes, right? You'll have people say that you don't have to do anything for AI, just do SEO, it'll take care of itself. And you have this other camp that says SEO is dead and it's new AEO, GEO, whatever acronym you want to attach to the AI visibility component. But you and I think, are aligned because we've had conversations about this, about it's both, right? It's a blending because they play together. And to your point, the AI mechanics of this actually call on and require the SEO resources to propagate the answers.
That's right, because the way that people are now accessing their results is not through keyword rank and stuff like that we used to battle with when you were doing like a regular search engine query, right? Best laser printers 2025. That isn't going to fly anymore because now people are engaging with their searches in a conversational way. And Google has tried their very best to get that AI search result at the top to work, but it just doesn't really get there yet with the way that language models return that conversational result back to you. And you're not going to get that conversational result unless you've done all the work previously to get your page squared up so that it can be made available to the language models.
Right. Well, I've had this explained to me, in a conversation I had with somebody not long ago, and it's a really simplistic way to look at this, but it makes a lot of sense. And the analogy is to consider a shoe store, right? So you're walking in a shoe store and you have certain requirements. All right. Well, first off, you go into a shoe store and you see a wall of shoes and they're organized. They're all in different, brands and sizes, and you can go find what you need, but you got to look for it. Right. So that's the old Google search. So you search for a keyword and everybody kind of figured out the formula of how they would look for something and parse it down, and you get a wall of links. So you have to do the choose your own adventure through the links and visit the websites to learn more. Now, to use the shoe store analogy, there's a salesperson that's put in front of that search where they're going, okay, what are you looking for? And then you give it very specific, I'm a, middle-aged guy and I need new running shoes and I want to protect my knees. And, you put in all that criteria and the result is, here you go. Here's your answer. So it's distilled, and the flow as I see it is that a lot of this exploration and research is happening. And to show you this, this is something I've shared with folks, is that search generally starts with AI now, and people have that conversation, the back and forth. However, the Google component more, in addition to what you were talking about as like the base layer for the mechanics of this, people still use Google to validate the answers because there's not full trust and confidence in everything that AI says because of hallucinations. People just want to fact check it. And then they land on a website to do the conversions. Do you see that as well?
I think your shoe store example is absolutely perfect because AI, the language model, whatever one you use, that's your salesperson. That's the conversation that people want to have without the actual talking to a person thing, which we know is a strange thing that people do. But that salesperson is supposed to know which sole is stitched to the body of the shoe, which sole is replaceable. They're supposed to know which one is comfortable, which one is waterproof, which one is built for hiking. They're supposed to know all of that stuff, right? And now your language model gives you an opportunity to have that conversation with a brick and mortar salesperson without actually going to the store.
Right.
And you can even produce a chart if you want to do your comparison. So you get that conversation up front that then lets you go to your online store and make your purchase targeted directly by using trust, by looking at star ratings, by looking at all of that stuff in a search engine result, not a language model result, so that you can then look for that price point you want, look for everything you want to get that conversion over to the company's website so you can make that purchase. So yeah, absolutely. The first search is now happening on language models, because you can have that conversation and you can just rapidly just receive the data back and process it, and then go straight to search, put in the product name you're looking for, specifically targeted, and then look at places to buy it. It's a complete change of the way people are doing search.
Yeah, and the fact that citations are now showing up and
Yeah.
links to the sources, to the cited sources are shown. That's my whole message is, just advertising 101. You want to be in front of as many eyeballs as you can with your brand. And if you're not doing what you need to be part of that AI conversation up front, then you're missing a third of the opportunity that you can be there.
Yeah, and you have you have this really just incredibly fast development and tool set deployment for AI tools just across everything from search, even with Google's search results or anybody's search results. Everybody's trying to find a way to capture that those eyes on the screen so that they can get the conversion done, right? I want my products to show up in a language model, and I want them to show up on Google.
Yep.
I want them to show up first on Google, because when I go to the language model and do my search and have my conversation with my virtual salesperson, which would be whatever language model you use, I want that product name so that when I go to Google and I type that product name, my company shows up first. That's where your SEO power comes in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have ideas we've shared, but in your opinion, what are some actions that small businesses can start doing today to start showing up in some of those AI oriented searches?
So my number one thing that we deal with when we're working with our clients is I ask our clients, I want to see your data. I want to see your cohort. I want to see your demographics. I want to see the traffic to pages, how it relates to the content you're producing, when it's happening, frequency, all of this stuff. And I hear, we don't have that. We don't have it. So the number one thing that I ask people to do is, or help them with, is say, we need to start collecting data, just the raw data, so that we can look at it. Once we have that, then we can step back and look at, what's converting, what's not converting, go into search, check the pages for SEO, go into the link, start parsing language models for the keywords we want to see if the products show up, and then begin the hard work of trying to get the different language models and the crawlers update their databases so that you show up. But the number one thing, Kevin, is that people are not collecting data, and they don't even know who their customers are.
Yeah, well, in some cases, but
Yeah.
there's going to be some brands that are more sophisticated
Sure.
that they have that. But no, I agree. I mean, it's shocking how many people are not, you can't fix what you can't measure, kind of thing, right? You can't improve it. But the one takeaway that I tell people is, again, we know about optimizing for keywords. Start optimizing for questions, and there's a ton of ways you can do that. You can work with me. You can get with Tom to start taking more of a deep look at what those high conversion questions and prompts are. And the easiest way to do that is to start including more FAQ data on a page. And a lot of times you can just do that as a section in the bottom. But if there's a whole different conversation we'll touch on later, talking about a large language model oriented page or a resource page that's super dense and really targeted to train or to use as a citation tool for the large language models. But have your keyword strategy tight, good SEO practices, have good page architecture, and start including more questions with answers published on your page.
Yep.
Because AI can't recommend what it doesn't know, and it doesn't know what it cannot see.
Yep.
So you have to put that stuff somewhere on your website in the structure and the verbiage that you want AI to give you the citation for.
100%. And this has always been part of our SEO strategy, is that we always have to have an FAQ page, even if it's in the footer with just frequently asked questions. It doesn't need to be a primary menu item. We always have that. The problem is that oftentimes they get stale. And people aren't, they don't necessarily want to keep it updated with new queries that are coming in that they need to be adding back into that page so it can be discovered. So, but an FAQ page in whatever form it is, whether it's something that is designed specifically to speak to language models or something that is designed to, speak to a search engine, you have to have that, because without that, there's none of that natural language that's going to happen. Well, the one thing about, an LLM file, an LLMS file, or an FAQ page is it contains natural language, versus the corporate, product descriptions and things like that you might see on a product page. So this is your chance to really sort of hook into the natural language way that people do their searches, so that you have a better chance of showing up in a language model and in search. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, this has been great conversation, great advice. I'm glad you were here to be part of this today. So look, if people want to reach out to you, let's get your information out here. And tell us a little bit about what you're doing at Visual Moxie and how folks can connect with you.
Right. So if you want to find us, of course, you can just do a simple search for Visual Moxie. We'll show up, usually first page. And what we do is we basically take people's problems and we try to find solutions. And that includes everything from a napkin sketch that they may provide us with an idea, all the way through the entire process of producing their product so that they can hang on a peg in Walmart on one of their store shelves. So there's prototyping, there's a lot of problem solving, a lot of niche, unique solutions that we build from scratch and provide to our customers and our clients so that they can have their vision of what they want their company to be actually happen, instead of settling for something that they beg and borrow and steal and try to implement themselves. We just deploy a perfect solution so that they have exactly what they want. And then one of our really big sort of directions that we take, which I believe is an ethical thing to do, is we don't take ownership of anything that we make. We want our customers and our clients to own everything and to be able to execute their own plans through training. And so we always train. Mm-hmm. They may choose not to use the training and they may come back to us, but we always want to make sure that they have the knowledge and understanding so that if they want to ask somebody to help them, they know the way to talk to other people about it. It's very important to us that everybody receives training on how to manage their own projects.
Well, I know you're definitely somebody who, stands behind your product, and you do good work. I mean, we've had a lot of conversations. You taught me a lot through the years. And so very much appreciate having you on here today. And I can certainly vouch for Tom. If anybody, has needs help in those areas that he talked about, reach out to him. But thanks everybody for being here for, this episode of our AI visibility brief. And next time we'll take a little step a little deeper.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it.